Hey friends, this is the Mrs. Wolfie from our Half Acre Homestead, and no, I'm not going on another rant. Well, kind of, but it's a good one. I read an article this weekend that I got really excited about until I saw the date. The date on the article was 2011. But then I realized after reading the article that it had really far-reaching implications for all of North America. And it hit at the heart of so many of our frustrations and our feelings of futility when it comes to the lack of choices in our lives, especially with our food. The toxins and the unpronounceable ingredients in our prepackaged foods, our prepackaged foods, period. The fact that we're not allowed to buy raw milk, the fact that we're not allowed to take our chickens to a neighbor's house and slaughter them and then share them. That's apparently illegal and all that stuff. And I really want Mark Baker of Baker's Green Acres to have a look at this too, because all this time we have been raging against the powers that be, the powers that are so far above our heads that we can't touch them. And excuse me if my my camera seems to fade in and out every once in a while. It's a new webcam and it has autofocus. And if I move my lips too fast, it refocuses. Anyway, I want to read you this article. And please disregard the date of this article, although I am going to say it. What I want you to think about is the implications of this article in our lives, in your life, okay? Maine town becomes first in U.S. to declare food sovereignty. Food sovereignty. Now, this is dated March 17th, 2011, but it has a lot of weight when it comes to thinking about where we are today, okay? The town of Sedgwick, Maine, population 1,012, according to the 2000 census, has become the first town in the United States to pass a food sovereignty ordinance. In doing so, the town declared their right to produce and sell local foods of their choosing without the oversight of state or federal regulation. What does this mean? In the debate over raw milk, for example, the law opens the gate for consumer and producer to enter a purchasing agreement without interference from state or federal health regulators. Yay! According to the Mayo Clinic, a 1987 FDA regulation required that all milk be pasteurized to kill pathogens such as Salmonella and E. coli. The Sedgwick Ordinance declares that producers or processors of local foods in the town of Sedgwick are exempt from licensure and inspection, provided that the transaction is only between the producer or processor and a patron when the food is sold for home consumption. This includes any producer or processor who sells his or her products at farmers markets or roadside stands, sells his or her products through farm-based sales directly to a patron, or delivers his or her products directly to patrons. In short, the ordinance allows the buyer and the seller to enter their own agreement, which overrides regulation of government when dealing with transactions involving local foods. This 4-page ordinance, which can be read in its entirety here, and I will post the link for that, is revolutionary in that it relies on the consumer to educate themselves on the risk of consuming products, such as raw milks, cheeses, meats, and vegetables, and shifts the power away from regulation, which prevents people from eating food of their choosing. How does the ordinance accomplish this? It references 3 key documents. 1. The United States Constitution, which declares that the government derives its power from the consent of the governed. In this case, the governed wanted their raw milk and local meat. 2. The Maine Constitution, and in particular, Article 1, Subarticle 2, which declares that all power of government is inherent in the people, who may alter, change, or reform it if their happiness requires. Again, raw milk equals happy people. And number 3, the Maine Revised Statutes, and in particular, I think the SS means subarticle 3001 of Title 3-A, which grants municipalities the right to regulate health, safety, and welfare, which would sound familiar to urban planners, and subarticle 211 of the Title 7, which states it is the policy of the state to encourage food self-sufficiency for the state. This is huge news, and Grown in the City will be tracking the story in various ways in the coming weeks. Now, Grown in the City is a newspaper. Now, did you get all that, folks? These people didn't march on Washington. These people didn't take it up with whoever. These people started in a town of 2,000 people and decided on a town level that we, the people of Sedgwick, Maine, want the choice to drink raw milk if that's what we choose. We, the people of Sedgwick, Maine, decide that if people want raw milk, we have the right to sell it to them. Isn't that great? Isn't that a ray of hope? So, folks, forget Washington. Start on a local level. You have a better chance. You have a better way of campaigning and petitioning and getting signatures on a local level. Anyway, this is the Mrs. Wolfe from our half-acre homestead with a little ray of hope. It may have happened in 2011, but you know what? Get the word out. This kind of thing can have sweeping movements across North America. All right? Take care now. Bye-bye.